What is going on, guys? Rewinds here, and in this video I'm going to be bringing you guys my 2026 Two Blue Vortex expectations video. And before I really dive into what my expectations are for Boruto Two Blue Vortex in 2026, I do want to say Happy New Year to everybody, because I am recording this and posting this on the 31st, so depending on when you see it, Happy New Year. And if you guys are, going out and doing anything hectic tonight, just make sure you guys are staying as safe as you can be. I know it's a very hectic time of the year because a lot of people are doing a lot of different things. So, hopefully you guys enjoy the start of the year and just be safe. Yeah. But let's talk about the video. 2026 Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. I think this manga might hit a new peak, and the reason why I'm thinking that is because, at least for me personally, Boruto 2 Blue Vortex has progressively gotten better each year. And I say that because my favorite arc in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex was the recent Sand arc we had. And I feel like that was really good overall in comparison even to the starting arcs, which also were pretty good, by the way. But that arc, the Sand arc, had a very good build up, I want to say, and it had a good utilization of side characters as well. And you still used all like the main big characters too, such as Boruto and Kawaki. So I feel like a lot of people got some shine, and I feel like the story did genuinely progress a good bit. So I felt like 2025 was the best year for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex from a manga content perspective. And yes, seriously though, no bad chapters yet overall, in my opinion, for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. I think that the second half of 2026 is going to be a little bit more important for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex than the first half. And I say that because I think that the first half of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex's 2026 is going to be focused on this Mamushi invasion arc. And I do think that is going to be very important, of course, but I'm very interested to see what direction we're going to head in after that. And I'm assuming that the Mamushi invasion arc is only going to encompass the first half of the year based off of how these previous arcs have been paced. If you look at everything with like the whole Matsuri and Ryu arc within the Sand, that's pretty much, done within that 8 to 10 chapter realm, depending on where you're starting things. So if we go by that same logic here, I think it's pretty safe to say that we might end this Mamushi arc in the next 4 to 6 months, depending on where we go, because we have been on it now for about 4 to 5 chapters, if you really count the setup parts in between as well. So I think that that arc is going to be done hopefully by June, and I'm sure it's going to have some crazy stuff. And then that second half of 2026 is going to be where hopefully we're starting to get into this big battle with Jura, or like at least a plan more so to decide how they're going to handle Jura. And for all we know, the situation gets very worse, based on how this Mamushi invasion goes. So that'll be interesting to see. But expectations wise, in this Mamushi invasion arc, I'm expecting there to be at least one big lasting like consequence that's gonna make life tougher for everybody going into the following arc. And what I mean by that is something on the scale of a Ada actually getting consumed by Mamushi, or more so like maybe Himawari even dying, but I don't really think that one's gonna happen. But that's just another example. But I do think that we have a decent chance of Ada being consumed simply because of how Mamushi's ability is, and since we've seen it too in Koji's vision that Ada has been taken out before. So I feel like that is a possibility. However, Koji is doing everything he can to steer them to the best chances of Himawari not dying and Ada not dying. At least that's what he told Inojin. So, based off of that, maybe those two won't happen. But if that's the case, I want to see another big consequence occur, such as another major character maybe dying or just being put in a very bad situation. Like maybe another character becomes a tree, so there's another Shinju down the line or something like that. And that could be something that could be pretty cool as well if they go that route. But in terms of major characters, I feel like one that pops to my mind is Damon. And I say major character because although, yeah, Damon doesn't get a lot of screen time per se, but everybody knows Damon is one of the strongest in the verse, especially because of his OP abilities. So him going down in this arc to Mamushi, for example, would be a really big and shocking thing. And that's one of the possibilities I could see for sure, because if that happens, Ada's protection level in the village is definitely at jeopardy. And although she has her own technique, of course, but I mean from like a fighting standpoint. So I think that Damon could be someone that goes. Another possibility could be someone from Team 10, because, I mean, we've already seen Inojin die once, so I don't think Inojin would be the one to go again. But the way Koji was talking to Inojin, he made it seem like, I'll do anything to keep, we should do anything to keep Ada and Himawari alive and safe, don't you think? And I feel like him kind of getting like that little nod of approval from Inojin is kind of his way of being like, maybe it'll come at the cost of Inojin's life. Maybe that's just me looking too far into it, but I do think that that could be possible. If it's another Team 10 member, I personally don't want to see Shikadai die. I feel like Shikadai could be very useful to the story and probably has a decent bit more to do if he stays involved. And Shikadai, honestly, especially if you watch the Boruto anime, he had one of the best connections with Boruto. So I really want to see some Boruto and Shikadai interactions, because that's Boruto's best friend at the end of the day. And to see like how the roles have flipped and everything, and how Shikadai pretty much treats Boruto like he's in Kawaki's spot and as a traitor and everything, and hates him so much. Like it just shows you how much things have shifted thanks to the whole omnipotence thing. Chocho could be someone that goes, and I just feel like if they go the route of killing off Chocho, I feel like we just need some sort of big build up for it. I'm not completely against them offing her, but it's gotta be in a way where I feel like the readers like us, we actually care. Because me personally right now, I think Chocho's alright. She's probably my least favorite member of Team 10. Ability wise, Chocho I'm sure has some cool stuff, but character wise, I think we could definitely get her to be more likable and standing out more to us as the readers. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of a consequence happening. But overall, my expectation is that this arc ends up around like that April to June point of the year, and if not, then at latest maybe in July. So going from forward from that, I feel like we need to get to the point where we are maybe pushing now to get to that Jura fight again, like a rematch of some sort, but with a actual good plan. Sometime in 2026 later on, I feel like that could be good. And if we're not going to go that route, the only Shinju that's left aside from Mamushi is Hidari. And if we're going to do something with Hidari, I feel like that's going to be very, Sarada focused, of course. I feel like that could also low-key be a little cool chance in there to bring, Sakura into the fray too, just to show, she cares for her husband. That could be a really good moment to involve her into the story if they want to. And if we don't do the Sakura route, I mean, another person that could be cool would be Kakashi getting involved in that scene as well, because, former student, even though Hidari is, Sasuke, Divine Tree version, but I feel like that could be some potentially cool stuff right there. But I do expect Hidari to get a lot stronger, and I do expect that to be like a very big battle for Sarada down the line. That's going to require some help. So that could be another thing we do in 2026. Now, the one other thing I want to talk about regarding 2 Blue Vortex that could happen in 2026 is we may get the possibility of someone like Ada, or let's say another target. Like, I don't think it would happen to Sarada, but I feel like 2026 is a good year for Boruto to maybe actually have one of these targets actually consumed. And I know I mentioned Ada possibly going down and dying in this arc and actually getting devoured, so I want to touch up on that a little bit more again, because even if it's not her, I do feel like somebody getting caught by one of the Divine Tree targets could be a good idea, just because then we'll be able to see what kind of level these Shinjus can actually reach if they actually consume their target. And I feel like we're going to see that at least once, but I think we're at the point of the story where it would be cool to get to see that in either this arc or at latest the next arc, just so we as readers can see, the peak of where some of these Shinju can reach. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I know some of you guys might be thinking, oh, what if Jura goes for Himawari or Jura gets Naruto? Those two, I really don't want to see that happen, but you never know, it might. And that's just because I really like those characters to the point where I don't want to see them gone like permanently. But that's just me. But if let's say we lost Ada, I think that would be probably one of the best moves, simply because then that also makes the village at a bit of a disadvantage, because Ada can't go back and view these past conversations, hence taking away a big advantage of theirs. And maybe if Mamushi gets that, it would be even worse for the people in the village, because Mamushi might get that ability himself. And imagine somehow Mamushi getting omnipotence too. Who knows what can happen? We can go so many crazy ways of how Kishimoto and Ikimoto can write this at the end of the day. But low-key thinking about it a little bit more, the villain side getting these abilities could be pretty damn broken too. So that makes me think a little bit more now that they might not do it with Ada, but Ada dying rather than being consumed could be possible, putting the village at a little bit more of a disadvantage, even if Koji can actually go and predict some of the stuff with this presence technique. So that's kind of what I have in mind right now for 2026 of Boruto. One other little thing I guess I'll toss in too is I would love to see Naruto and Sasuke actually make a comeback in 2026, even if it's one of the two. I feel like, although they don't need to take the spotlight, of course, of the story, I do feel like at some point it'd be cool to get them back. And I don't think it'll be Naruto, because we know from that Boruto and Kawaki battle that Kawaki is saying that, hey, I'm going to send you where I sent the 7th Boruto. So we'll see how we end up getting to that point eventually. But maybe Sasuke comes back. Again, that would take, Hidari being defeated as a big, part of that. But we'll see what they do. But we'll see what happens in 2026 of Boruto. I do want you guys to let me know in the comments below what your guys' expectations are for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex in 2026. And again, hope you guys have a good new year. But that's going to be it for this one. If you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. And as always, I hope you guys have a good day or night whenever you guys are watching this video. I'm Rewinds, and I'm out.